Your first year in Canada should teach you a lot of lessons. In fact, you're going to learn a lot of things and you're going to have to deal with throwing away a lot of garbage in your head that you figure out about. Ada wa adwene wo kako no ma wone besa wo fridge mu no. Saada na e wo se wo sua said you obetimi asa tena kroma no asiafa. Because if free saada na ekono, you would have to learn how to use other ingredients to supplement your recipes that you were already used to in Ghana. Yes, anetie. Bibi anseye. In toast cry wo kroma no. Ni taste no na no so no different from that of Ghana. Now in your first year, since you are learning and unlearning a lot of things no, it is okay to make a lot of mistakes. If I will seek some home, if I will status home, or area home, school be a walk home, or visitors visa be home. It is pardonable because in immigration import, according to the Bill C12, no, so about Kroma, na said when dear Joe in the first year you came to Canada, after the 12th month no, untimi nko dear Drew. It's a kasa kwa bi ni akacha mwati asye, meaning say, ade bia pesa yo kroma bia no find any mistake and information seeking find an approach. You have 1 year to learn and resolve problems that you've made for yourself, clean up the mess and move on appropriately with your life. As a student here in Canada, after 150 days, if you do not report to school, you have an extra 90 days to restore your status. As I know, 6 months no. As I'm making minimum the makeup. 1 year is enough for you to learn the system, learn to navigate it, and use it wisely as to how you are going to remain in Canada and probably find a pathway to PR. Now, in your second year, no matter what pathway you use to enter this country, being it a visitor, student, or worker, no, if you are still no more a student or a worker, I know your visitor cry with theater because in year 2, you should have figured a way out to extend your visa by going to school, getting an LMIA, or getting married to someone you love or someone who loves you, whatever. And na Joshua Bakakodia in year 2 no edine dada. So when you're sadia na oya vista year 2 nka ho. What free situation mu dada. Why yira and it's going to take you about 5 years to come back to the straight line. Abranche. Odi ahwase ya na. Wasem nya de immigration for betwum wankasa. You have questions to answer. Now, if you're a student or a worker, it means probably you are still in school. It means maybe you are extending your visa because school no nyanko. It means your visa to you is still valid because in your year, maybe another year or a couple of months into one in the month, so school, at least we get a permit expiry date no in your count, we are relaxed kakra. But immigration is so dear. What you go kakra. I feel now zip a shas say then, say, I feel lock a zip na and shut down lucky beam. Would you 1.5 years? I mean 1 year 6 months and half year zip no. Tinia tia for mama Sisian, watching a chassis is a big a cracker. We are worker, probably you are working. Your visa is still intact. When you be any some in year 2 no, you should be able to find an immigration pathway. A bit to me I'm PR because yeah Juma, who a Canadian work experience, at least when you're 1 year Canadian work experience. So good postgraduate work permit, so good spousal open work permit, so good LMI, year 2 dear, minia. Maybe what's a true French no, what's a true English test no, to max out. What I say immigration pathway, say what remote area, say what rural community. Say what here fa. Now what I see DHD. Now when the immigration pathway a wow. I feel we do you make a cracker with regards to the requirements. Now year 2 ni be area. I want our students for no. When the permits will not can bear 4 months, 6 months. And you mean the cracker no rule. They work as so near non-nominated through PMP or whatsoever. Also more any break. Abra woko year 3 because a many homo. That's a near my air chassis I den afuase. Also more any break. And yes, I never catch them. We students as a browser and we school. I have not a sure English language test. No, said a bear. And Coban is having we school, nothing like a coaching English test because you're going to be surprised. We write cell pip hours interchangeably, overlapping it in Sicily. You won't get the mark you want. I think it has something to do with immigration. I'm not saying it, but that's a chain. That's the African cultural hours test after you've completed your studies. You will learn a lesson or two and some other pass. It is a bra. After now, successor with them all thrown out at all. At least it's valid for a year. You can use it purposely for that same PGWP. So I try to order that. That's a 1 year number toswa. Name no year 3 year no be a mukwa befaso. Okoye PMP, Okoye Express Entry, CEC, Federal Skilled, Federal Trade. Maybe some public policy program be up. Sponsorship be a P baby. You should get a hold of yourself at that time. What's a big crack? Mama dear Joseph Brady. 3 years, the Navy now over 20,000 in Canada. Was cut and the chair until also to me a Jumakwa. 3 years, 20,000 is not bad. And now, what do you call Rogers? And now, what do you send me? And now, what do you see then? Well, and talk one way. You know, in your year 3, if you do not find any immigration pathway here in Canada, what do you have to say? Pathway never want me to concentrate on. I mean, this Juma, member requirements, I may apply. Why Iraba o? Yusuba unkubio. Wasamwa, o case wadodo. Oh, a chichi, I'm catcher. A betcho, Venda. I'll go school on. O permits no. We see them for Oco school. Who been a betcha war? A bad thing. It's our due. What do you mean, dear Drew? Any other thing? When you're out for your timeline in Canada to find a pathway to PR is just 3 years. 3 years, you should be able to find a timeline. In 3 years, someone can get PR. Even as an international student, in 3 years, someone can get PR. As a worker, being a postgraduate work permit, partial open work permit, LMIA, close or open, always mean your PR in 3 years. When your PR in 3 years, it's not bad. You should be able to find a PR pathway. One namsa kwan ABA in your 5th year, latest, when your PR. Niyama crass say cry jama in your 6th and your 7th year. Because honestly, I know people who have been in this country, they've done their masters, they had their PGWP for 3 years, and meaning they spent about 5 years or 6 years in this country. Now they are on Vista record trying to find another pathway because the pathway available right now is not looking pretty on their way. I understand. But kwata in your 7th year day, Ababobi Ababo Canada be so be dear Drew as a Vista, so by as a student, so by as a worker, whatsoever. Now we are in your PR. After your 7th year, so when you're PR. The only thing I can tell you to do and say, "Po baby na ware, because we immigration status no, and yet record ni 6 years in this country, it's likely say o status no. When to me restore, when to me renew, when to me extend it. By remaining in this Canada as an undocumented immigrant, if it be admissibility, immigration for my visa grandpa and on approval be from any pathway. I don't know why last number here, admissibility. So what's now chromanum, what boom rabi so? Ban immigration, ban or criminal record, ban the Arabia or human rights violation be. And sometimes uti chromanuma would depend on social welfare and answer social assistance programs. So bra when you're disabled, cry to me, so because you are inadmissible, just say to me you and what's a chroma on San Fata. So in year 7, if you haven't found any PR immigration pathway, now you PR that now who quite be a first. What's there was some? So when in the Musana, then as I say, I catch them more banner September. I have a lot of coaching to give to you out there. I was some medina maybe Shisha must say. I'm a chair when you may be in the swan, yes, sir. No bounds over custom pap will change you. Joe, a chababa. Now, and why may be Mr. Mother. The 7th year, like I'm saying, if you still haven't found your immigration pathway to PR, then there is something wrong somewhere, which needs to be seriously looked at. And yes, sir, it's not Kruma's undocumented forever. I beg your pardon, I've said what I have to say. I hope we are all learning because it's not easy out here. You need to be tactical, you need to be strategic. And yes, sir,